Come on, man. You got kids? Get the kids into the show.
I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
First, you're gonna tell me about this science stuff.
Sorry about that. What is a scientist?
You caught me like I'm experimenting with
Science.
It's like magic with electricity.
I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
The smartest scientists in the entire world all agree
Science is a liar sometimes.
Seriously, this could not seem less scientific.
Those idiots don't know anything about science.
It's science.
I believe it's pronounced science.
This is the least scientific thing I've ever seen. So I'm just experimenting with them?
You be quiet.
Thank you, scientist.
Under the guise of science. Good evening. I am Charles.
I'm Chris. With the guys of science. This is take 2.
As in the second one.
Yeah.
Well, it's
This
more
shit did not
rainy
go
tonight.
well.
So
Yeah.
it's spookier this time. It's going to be a spooky episode.
Okay. I hear that's what the kids want.
They did. The kids are. You got to give them something spooky.
Right. They hear something spooky.
You got a lot of rain up there?
Yeah, we got a bunch of snow, almost a foot, and then now it's
Oh shit!
now it's weirdly getting warmer overnight and raining. And then it's going to get colder when the sun comes up.
Sounds like your weather patterns are all screwy.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the climate is changing.
Go home, climate, you're drunk. That's what happens.
No, climate, I'm supposed to get drunk.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to dwell on mistakes you've made over the last 25 years. Get it right, climate.
Yeah. Our job is to get drunk and talk about you as if we have some expertise. And you're supposed to be the sober one.
Yeah, why would you change? We got a good thing going, climate.
I agree.
Let's keep it up. Why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, climate.
Yeah, I'll change. You don't change, I'll change.
Don't you go changing climate. I'll change for you. I'll change for the better, climate.
We're going to see in the papers tomorrow, scientists have discovered that climate is willing to give us one more chance. Can't fuck up this time. They're serious.
I know I said I'd changed before, climate, but this time I really mean it. This time I get it.
Is that a rainforest you're cutting down? No, that was the last one. I was fixing it from last time.
It was, but that rainforest was an asshole.
That was before I said I was going to change. I have to finish. Yeah. It'll be worse.
I'm a completionist, climate. I gotta start everything I finish, or whatever that's supposed to be.
And then 2 days later, scientists say that climate is going to stay with its mother. Until we start making good on our promises.
And late breaking news, it looks like climate has taken the dog and the kids as well.
That's never a good sign.
We're going for a long sleepover, said the kids.
My kids always say, like, because I legit go to the store to get milk sometimes. So they like go, oh, he's getting milk. And I'm like, I come back every time. It's not like a...
Like you're gonna run away.
Yeah, exactly. Like they went to get milk and never came back. I don't even know this area. I don't know where I would go.
Where would I go? This isn't even a choice.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna drive around in a circle and come back home anyway.
It's the only
Without
place I
milk.
remember how to get to.
Yeah.
That's why it's the only reason I keep coming back.
Yeah, unless somebody sends me a link that I can, go here and GPS. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know how we got here. This is not what this episode's about.
We're not doing another episode about climate change?
No, we're not. I mean, I think there's some climate change stuff that impacts what we're talking about because climate has changed on Earth over time. But no, that wasn't the plan. I don't think so.
You hear that, climate? Climates can change too! Maybe it's not always my job, climate!
Yeah, relationship is 50-50 work. I'm gonna meet you. How about I meet you halfway, climate? We stopped with the aerosol cans, right? Come on.
Relationships are 50-50 work and also work.
Remember, you used to give us all that ozone. Can I have some more of that ozone? The good old days.
Yeah, I know I put a hole in it. I didn't know I made a mistake. So would you just give me a little more ozone just to get me through the next 20, 30,000 years? Come on, what do you say? Yeah. So, not climate change.
Yeah. We'll talk about food.
Oh, I love food.
Yeah, that's kind of what this was about for the most part. Food and eating.
It's about factory farming, right?
I think eventually touch on that, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Technically. Fair enough.
Yeah. The video gets there. It's a long-ass video that we watched. It's called
Like,
What
we could
Eats
probably
Us.
almost not run out of ideas and just keep saying things and like, you know what? At around the 36.5-minute mark, yes, they did also talk about which glue is stronger than other glue.
Yeah, it's very, very dense. But it is. Did they mention Gorilla Glue?
They mentioned gorillas.
That's true. There's Gorilla Talk.
I would love to watch that show. It's Gorilla Talk. It'll be like a morning news talk show, and it's just a bunch of like gorillas dressed up in suits, and then they pan to one of the gorillas, and it just yells, and then they just beat the shit out of each other and wreck the set.
Eventually, yeah. Something's
Man.
getting fucked up. I saw a thing on Reddit. It had a picture of Prime Mike Tyson and a picture of a gorilla, and the person was legit asking, "Do you think Mike Tyson in his prime could beat up a gorilla?" I was like,
No.
"Yeah, no, nothing
Not
could.
at all.
There's no person that could. It's nothing against Mike Tyson. He could beat up all the other people." But yeah, no.
Yeah, Mike Tyson in his prime against any person.
Yeah, it's good odds that Mike Tyson could walk away from that.
And there's way more people than there are gorillas. So
That's true too.
personally, I think that's more of an impressive feat.
Yeah, we can't beat gorillas one-on-one, so we just kind of ate all the shit they ate. And you live over here now. We have roads.
Yeah, that's like it's like crime family shit to get rid of a rival criminal organization. Just like suffocate them out. It's like, all right, we'll just cut you off from everything that you need.
I mean, that's kind of what Homo sapiens did with the Neanderthals. Neanderthal, and there's another one in Asia, the Dionysians. I might not be pronouncing that right, but it's other species of Homo, hominid type, primates that were, I guess, competing with us, but not as good. So we went after the same resources as them, so kind of wiped them out that way, and B, bred with them. So you can't beat them, join them, kind of.
What kind of bread did they make with them?
White bread. That's mostly, and that's kind of where, because humans or Homo sapiens evolved in northern Africa, but the Homo neanderthalis, I guess, were more north, where it was a little colder, and that's Homo sapiens that went north met up with them. So there's more Neanderthal DNA in European than in African or Asian, and then there's more of that Dionysian DNA in Asians. That shows they did the same thing out there.
Do you have one of those 23andMe or Ancestries done?
My sister did one, so technically, kind of. Right?
You got
close
most
enough.
of it. It's most of the same shit. I got, I think, 71st percentile of people with Neanderthal DNA, which is still like not enough to even sort of affect anything. Like it's just like some like, oh yeah, this shit's here too. Like that's
No, it's just a small, I don't know, genome, or I don't know what the the right word for it is, but it's something that's encoded in there that doesn't really impact any. I think everyone does to an extent. It's just a higher percentage in white people than in Asians and Africans. What Europeans and Asians and Africans? I don't want to say white people. It's a stupid term. We were actually talking about that the other day at dinner, because I'm of Irish descent and my wife is of Sicilian descent. So like we're both white people somehow, but we're very different. Like I say, I'm potato Europe, she's tomato Europe. It's like two different worlds.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am of the same. Married a Sicilian lady too.
Yeah, how about that?
It's weird. Like she's not much darker than me. Like when we don't have like any color, but like she'll get in the sun once and then have tan lines 5 months later. It's like, how the fuck still? How does that do that?
My daughter is like one of those action figures that when you put them in water, they change color completely. Like in the winter, she's white with brown hair, and in the summer, she's bronze with golden hair. Like she just completely changes color after enough sun.
Her winter her and summer her are player 1 and player 2. It's like they look exactly the same, but the color scheme is a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that guy has a red vest instead of a blue vest. All right.
Yeah.
I was about to go off on a Contra pants ramble somewhere, but it's there's too much shit bumping into each other. So
Contra pants. That is it. It was red and blue, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know who was who. Yeah.
Just like, what are you wearing a shirt today? Nope, me neither. Cool. What color pants you wearing? Red. Whew. Okay, I got blue. Nice.
Can you imagine being one of those Contra soldiers just because, like, imagine in real war, that's what you did. You jumped, flipped the entire time you were jumping, just constantly flipping, and held the trigger the whole time that you were flipping it.
And it's always somehow going forward.
Right.
Or, well, that's the default. The default is no matter how many times you flip over, it's going directly in front of you.
Yeah, you land on your feet. Doesn't matter. You can flip 37 times and spray bullets in every single direction and then just land on your feet and keep running. Like, what kind of training do they have in the Contra facility? It's insane.
Those guys aren't the Contra guys aren't fucking monkey bars in the desert guys. They got real deal fucking training.
Yeah.
So Neanderthals, right?
So anyway, yeah, I guess let's go back to this. So there's a video we watched. It's called "What Ate Us." It's we'll share it probably. It's the history of what's the name of the channel? It's like the history of.
It's like the entire human everything ever or something like that. History of humankind.
There we go.
Yeah, it's bananas.
And they have a couple videos, that long form videos at their brother and sister channel with a couple other things that do similar cool documentary style videos. But so what they do, especially in this one in particular, they opened with the story. And the story was basically painting a picture of a site that was like an archaeological site based on what they found there when they dug it up, and he kind of painted a picture of what was going on there at the time. But they make it sound like it's going to be about cavemen. They talk about the sounds from the caves and the laughter and stuff like that, and they swerve it on you, and it turns out to be a hyena den. And in this hyena den are a whole bunch of human bones, but it's not from the humans that live there. It's from the humans that the hyenas dragged in there and ate. Well, I guess this was Homo habilis. I shouldn't say human, but it was a predecessor to humans at that point. And,
Homo habilis sounds like you're trying to say something, but while doing this, like with your lips. Homo habilis.
yeah, like Bill Cosby at the dentist.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
That's right. I put the roofies in your lip.
All right. I was gonna say that's he only told the stories about people drugging him.
Yeah. He was projecting onto all of us. At this part in the video, the guy says, British guy. I can't even place what part of England it's from, but this guy's accent is real fancy.
Yeah. He's very. So it's like the Queen's English. Like he must live right outside the palace. That's where he was born and raised.
He like. I was trying to listen to the pattern of the way he says it, but when he's bringing something up that's saying a sentence like, "Not only did we do this, but we also did this too," and like I don't know what to call it. I guess the pattern that he does is, not only did we do this, but we also did this as well. Like it,
right?
Like you can hear the similarities where it sounds, I don't know. Again, that's why I never did good in school, because I get too distracted by what people sound like.
No, but I know like the pacing of the way he speaks, and like
cadence,
he leaves. The cadence. Yeah, he leaves just the right amount of time for what he's saying to land and continue on, and like because the stuff that these videos are talking about is not easy, and a lot of times with stuff like this, it can be very conducive to falling asleep. But I feel like the way this guy delivers is engaging.
Yeah, definitely, and it also got some nice visuals in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's well produced.
Yeah.
So the other thing about him, so because he speaks so fancy, I just want to immediately just like, yep, he's saying it right, regardless of what he's saying. So when he's
I've been saying it wrong.
It's been my fault this whole time.
Yeah.
Thought I'm the goose. He says the caves were not filled with homo habilis making noise, but the shrieks of hyena pack. And he doesn't put an S at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, like I surprise, clicked back several times to make sure.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that at all.
This hyena pack, and that's why like I want the plural of watermelon to be watermelon. Like maybe it's like some fancy British that's in my head that may not exist, but the plural is just like moose, buffalo.
Right. Yeah,
stuff like that.
I had 7 watermelon. Right.
Yeah. See, I don't think that sounds incorrect at all.
Let's push for it. Words are like, I argue this all the time when people say that's not what it means in the dictionary. Like the dictionary is a reference point for at this specific moment in time. This is what these words mean. Like we can just change the plural. We don't need that S in watermelon.
I am so involved.
I'm up to my eyeballs in watermelon.
It's great having a plural noun just before it too, just to really stick the landing.
Yeah. All right. I'm in.
Cool. All right. So pack of hyena, a bushel of watermelon. No, 17 watermelon. Yeah. See, It just sounds right already. Like it sounded so
Yeah.
right. I was like, oh, am I doing the joke wrong? No, because it's a fact now.
Yeah. No, I have a cart full of watermelon.
Done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Fucking
Man.
done and done. All right. Fucking check that off the fucking list.
I think we just changed English. You're welcome.
Yeah, so caves and hyenas and pack of.
Oh, so the craziest part of this story for me was that they were talking about they found skull caps and not faces. Because what hyenas do is when they drag the prey back to the cave, they rip the faces off and eat the brains, which have a lot of nutrient-rich fats. And they also have jaws that are capable of crushing bones. Then they can access marrow, which is why they are good scavengers today. They're also hunters, but they can scavenge because they're, the carcass left by lions and stuff like that. They got no use for the bones, but the hyenas can make use of it.
Man, that's such a crazy, and it makes sense why something like that would last that long. It's like, all right, what's left after something eats all the meat off of something? There's still bones? Cool. I'm going to eat the marrow.
Yeah.
And the stuff that it was conducive for it to eat marrow, like, helped it along. Like, so with eating their face, like, even, like, just so they're literally eating the skull, like the front of the skull, right? I would assume, like, they're not just like they're eating several pieces of watermelon. They're not taking a couple bites and then spitting out the seeds of skull face.
No.
They're just swallowing the whole thing.
Yeah, and they poop. That's why they poop white. It's very calcium rich because they swallow and process bone.
Swallow and process bone. It's fucking scissor fight lyrics if I've ever heard them.
So that was that story. But then it hops right into, before it gets sciencey, it hops into a second story, which is also pretty crazy. And this one was more a cautionary tale, and a reminder that we are still in the food chain despite our attempts to remove ourselves from it.
And it's also a reminder that regardless of how much money you have, just because you could doesn't mean you should.
That is true.
All right, let's just hit the old share Areno button.
And as we mentioned yesterday, but no one's going to hear it, so never mind that reference. But we are pro-tiger on this show, and we have pledged to donate half of Elon Musk's money to saving tigers. Just want to make sure that...
Elon Musk jokes.
I don't want to lose that one.
No, that one's a keeper. All right.
150 years ago, a small boy named John Wade walked the streets of London, not too far from the docks on the Thames.
John Wade, Dick.
It was a busy day with recent arrivals of ships from the East Indies. Dock hands were unloading their curious fare, and today's cargo was more interesting than most. A set of wild animals, including a full-grown Bengal tiger in a wooden crate.
So yeah, just the idea of this thing can cover huge swaths of land in almost no time, and clearly has a ton of energy and is very strong. We'd better put it in a box for a month.
Yeah, made of wood.
Hey, were you going to kill that? No, I was going to put it in a box for a month, actually. That was my idea.
And send it seaworthy. What do you mean, food?
Surely he's got enough, enough meat in his midsection there, you see? I'm sure he can survive a fortnight at sea.
Leave the rats in the cargo hold.
Like, he's pretty much, like, they're just making this tiger into, like Dracula. Like,
yeah.
When he gets brought over on the boat and then murders the whole fucking ship.
Right.
Look at this tiger, like a fucking Dracula inside of a box.
Instead of feeding it Once a week, they just go in and poke it. And wave a steak under its nose and then leave and blow the candle out.
Get a whiff of that, you cheeky bastard, you. I bet you won't bite that steak, eh? And then they cook it right in front of him.
And then surprise, surprise.
And then surprise, surprise indeed.
Like many of the passers-by, John watched with great curiosity as the tiger was unloaded and moved towards its new living quarters, an iron-barred cage in the menagerie of Charles Jamrach. The tiger, however, was not so complacent. As the animal was being guided into its new home, it pushed out violently with its back legs and succeeded in dislodging the crate just enough to slide through the gap, dashing out of the menagerie and into the yard.
The drawing that they have there, it looks almost exactly like the opening pre-credit scene of Jurassic Park. Like the fucking raptor is trying to break out, dude gets yanked, or it looks like a dude's getting yanked in.
Right.
Shooter! Also, I forget the name. I think it was like the menagerie that the guy said. It was like Charles something menagerie. It's like that sounds like a fucking Rush album. It's like...
But and also like I don't remember the dude's name either, but of course you have a menagerie with a name like that.
Nice menagerie, Dick. Look at this asshole. Instead of bunch of shit, he says menagerie. Ugh, how fancy.
That's your fucking animal room. Menagerie. You have 2 birds and a snake. Shut the fuck up. Menagerie.
For the 9-year-old John, it was too great an opportunity to miss. He reached out to pet the tiger and drew the cat's attention. Before John could pull back, the 200-kilogram tiger was on him. Massive teeth closed about his head, and the tiger began to drag him down the street.
That tiger's fucking badass.
Tigers tend to be.
Yeah, I get. They kind of all are. You're right.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the video of it's 2 guys, I believe in India. They're on the back of an elephant that's running through like very tall grass, and then it's.
I was thinking, is that bloody fuck you?
Fuck you.
No,
bloody.
no, different. Yeah, 2 different Indians. Never mind. Sorry.
So it's the POV from back of the elephant looking off the back, and then you just see a tiger like out of the grass that's running alongside just jump up and fucking swipe, and it actually catches the guy on his arm, like across his bicep and his forearm, and it is sliced through.
I've never seen that, but
oh man,
God, I would imagine. Yeah,
I'm excited to watch that video again.
Yeah, send it to me. Fuck. Big cats are like number 1 on my list of things to stay away from.
Well, on land, so like sharks.
Oh
probably.
Yeah, but they're not even a consideration because I'm not going in the water. What?
I'm not going to sit in their living room and get eaten.
Yeah. I'm not going to Africa or Asia either, though, so I don't have to worry too much about them.
So Hawaii is the furthest west you'll go.
Yeah, Hawaii is still America. I mean, whether they like it or not, but we still have, like, I can get a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like if shit goes south, I could still, somebody will come help me.
That's how you define on where you travel to on your ability to get legal representation.
Yeah, like, because if shit goes south in Mexico and they want to bury you, you're getting buried. You know, but like, and I don't mean literally. Obviously, if anyone wants to literally bury you, there's nothing I can do. But I mean, like, plant something on you and throw you in a cell or something like that. At least in Hawaii, I can get some kind of I know my rights, I guess is what I'm going with. Versus in Mexico, you don't have those.
Yeah, and so if you get locked up in Hawaii, you can say something super cocky like, "Excuse me, I believe I am entitled to due process." Maybe you heard of it,
Right.
and they'll have to be like, "You're right. Fair enough."
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. We don't like it, Howley, but we'll do what we got to do.
What about east? Furthest east you'll go?
I guess like Maine. No. I've been to England. I've actually been to Spain with the St. Peter's. Blah blah blah. I went to Morocco for a day.
You've already been to Africa.
I guess technically I have been to Africa, but it was
Look at
like
you.
a day trip. We took a ferry over from Spain, went shopping for a day, and then came home.
This is world traveling motherfucker. Look at you.
Like I said, that was with the St. Peter's Foreign Language Club. I think we called ourselves, which is the thing I joined when I found out they were going to Spain.
It would be great if the Foreign Language Club was just a bunch of people that they put together because none of them speak the same language. So just like, it's like, here, you speak Lithuanian, you speak Vietnamese, and you speak Inuit. There you go, Foreign Language Club.
Tower of Babel, taken on the road.
Oh yeah, so this tiger.
Yeah. So back to this kid getting bit.
Yeah, and not eaten, just dragged down the street.
Yeah.
It is all too easy to lose our sense of danger when we think of ourselves masters of the world around us. But we, too, are part of the food chain. Consistent roles are assigned to organisms across the ecosystems of the Earth. Herbivores eat plants, carnivores and omnivores eat herbivores, and then at the very top are the apex predators, animals who are feared more than they fear others. This is where humans tend to sit, and perhaps this is what makes us cocky.
Carnivores eat omnivores, omnivores eat herbivores, and herbivores come back round and eat carnivores in a shocking twist. Herbivores and omnivores team up to take on carnivores. Second carnivore arrives, and they both eat the herbivore and the omnivore.
And the apex predators learn to get along with everyone by the end of the movie.
They all learn how to do the same dance.
Right.
For a big hot number at the end.
But they never explained, like, he's still hungry. He's going to eat you tomorrow. Like, as soon as the cameras are off.
You guys get locked in that room, you're going to get eaten. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. That's how things work.
History and prehistory shows our roles can be reversed far faster than we expect. Young John Wade was lucky. His reminder wasn't lethal. The menagerie owner raced out into the street and beat the tiger across the head with a crowbar until it released the boy. He survived, though not unmarked. His father reported that even once the bite marks had healed, John continued to suffer nightmares and gained a reputation for biting children at school.
Well, I can't say for certain what happened, but he seems to have gotten rather bitey after the tiger incident.
First of all, nobody had a gun. This guy had to chase the tiger down and beat it across the head with a crowbar, which, don't get me wrong, is badass, but like, you're handling a tiger in a wooden crate. Nobody thought to bring a tranq dart or what the fuck? Who was running this?
Any type of a rifle at all?
Yeah.
No.
Like, no one's like, this cat is fucking huge. Make sure we need something. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We showed him who's lot.
He's going to a menagerie. He loves it.
I was telling him about the menagerie on the boat the whole way over, and he was just roaring about it. He couldn't wait.
Yeah. And then I bet the kids at school probably called the kid, "Hey, tiger kid, tiger boy." So, he bit them.
Yeah, which kids are dicks all the time.
Yes.
Like showing up after surviving an animal attack, that's clearly a sign of weakness.
Right.
Yeah, we gotta make fun of you and call you. If it isn't no teeth shoulder over there.
That's a sad enough story for the Crash Test Dummies to write a song about.
I'm gonna work on it. There's
Yeah, I know. There's something there.
Oh, yeah, there definitely is.
He bit the other kids in his classroom. Right? Something along that.
Couldn't quite explain it. The tiger just bit him.
Yep. Yeah, no, there's something there.
All right, we'll work on it.
Make Charlie Hodge cry.
I always felt like there weren't enough verses to that song. Like
Well, we can write sequel verses. Yeah.
Oh, this is a great idea.
Yes.
Like we'll just get the karaoke to it, and then I'll just loop it over where it just 12-minute version.
We might be able to reach out to the Crash Test Dummies and tell them like we're interested in doing this and get it officially sanctioned. Like what are they doing?
Yeah, everyone's doing sequels these days.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get a sequel to that shit going.
Yeah, there's more like minor tragedies that we can do something with that.
Absolutely. All right, yeah, we're in. We're 100% in on this. Oh, man.
I did not expect that to happen on this show, but all right.
Other tiger victims have not been so lucky. Indeed, throughout history, tigers have proven quite deadly. Nearly 400,000 people died from tiger attacks from 1800 to 2009 in Southeast Asia. Even today, tigers in the Sundarbans between India and Bangladesh kill 50 to 60 people per
Tigers
year.
in the Sundarbans,
Even a
another
single
Rush
tiger
song.
can do incredible damage, like the Champawat tiger, which killed over 400 people over 4 years in the early 1900s in Nepal and India. And so while we may be top of the food chain, that doesn't mean we don't still share that position with others.
That's what that means.
I know. So
tiger.
We're very lucky.
We're lucky to not get eaten by stuff. I mean, not nearly as much as like people still get eaten, but the frequency is.
Yeah, and it's usually because they were doing something stupid. Like when you go down to Florida, like my wife preps the kids. She says, "Listen, if you see water bigger than a puddle, an alligator lives in there. So stay away."
And possibly a snake.
Yeah. Oh, for your fuck. I said snakes are still high up on the list of things that kill people. I didn't know that. They're like top 10 and definitely.
Really?
I think number 6-ish. Yeah.
You know what? Good for snakes.
Right.
Good for snakes. Flying in under the radar like that. Well, there's like tons of fucking pythons in Florida now, like invasive species because people got exotic pets and just threw them in the swamp.
Yeah. And I think like, Southeast Asia and shit like that. There's in Australia and all those places. Most snakes want you dead and you accidentally step on them. No, I'm looking here actually. They're number 3 with animals.
Wow.
It goes mosquitoes. They kill over 1 million a year.
Assholes.
Us, we handle our business. 475,000 deaths per year. And then snakes are number 3 with 50,000.
50,000, huh?
Yeah,
Nice.
There's a huge drop off. It goes mosquitoes, and then it drops to half for humans, as far as us killing us. and then way down to 50,000 for snakes. So that's not too bad.
It's not a bad bronze medal last, Knicks. Who'd they beat out? Who's number
Wait a
4?
minute. Wait, this is out of order because then it has dogs at 25,000, but then freshwater snails at 200,000. It jumps back up.
Fresh what? Like from eating? 200,000 people a year die from eating escargot?
I don't think. Hold on. This seems. Google, what are you doing here? That sounds like bullshit.
How big are these freshwater snails?
No, that's more like freshwater snails, 10,000 per year. That's
Okay.
more likely.
All right.
That I could deal
But
with.
still, is that all escargot related? Like, is it all eating? Like, because the snails are they poisonous? Tell me about.
I don't think it's. There's those poison dart snails. You ever hear of them?
No.
Yeah, they're snails that shoot a dart at you, and yeah, they're very, very venomous or poisonous or. Yeah, venomous is when they stick you with something. Poisonous is when you eat it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but they're venomous and they are in the ocean. That's the main problem with them. So they stick you and give you temporary paralysis, but then the lack of the air is what gets you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a snail with an assist from the ocean.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, look at that. Another reason for you to not go in the ocean.
Well, these are freshwater snails. I don't know what the fuck. We're going to have to do an episode on freshwater snails because this is news to me.
Oh, that's right.
I knew
Freshwater,
about
you
snakes
said.
and
So,
duck.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to stay out of lakes,
Like
rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anything bigger than a puddle. Just live your life like it's Florida. Anything bigger than a puddle is dangerous.
I like this office. I'm just gonna... I'll go downstairs to the fridge if I got it.
Pull the shade down. Keep the sun out if need be.
Right.
You're manipulating your environment. You're the peak of evolution.
That's what we do as human beings. That's what we wanted. We don't want to fucking compete with hyenas.
Short-faced motherfuckers too, right? These big old ones.
Yeah, those are the big boys. Which is also terrifying. Everything. Yeah, we talked about that. That everything short-faced was big.
Yeah. Everything short-faced is badass.
Yeah.
Except for short-faced horses. I feel like that could have been
familiar with those.
Yeah, none of us are. It's probably because they got ate out of existence.
They couldn't reach the bottom of the bucket.
Because all the horses stick their head into the bucket at the same time, and they were all able to get their nose down, and then he's there with his short face, like trying to get down the middle, but can't nose his way in.
He's only got half the teeth. Yeah.
Oh, what if he had the same amount of teeth, like double rows, like horses, but like shark row teeth?
Right.
It's more.
Still couldn't get to the bottom of the bucket.
Can have all the teeth you want. They're not going to get you any further down this bucket, pal.
So that's kind of a weird tangent back to the topic, and this might even be jumping ahead a little bit, so we might have to go back. But one of the cool things that they mentioned in this video were that molars, the way molars evolved, why they're so rigid and have like the peaks and valleys and everything like that. Well, because of fruits, that fruits are high in sugar. So that helped with defense against cavities, the shape of our teeth, way back when, fruits were first evolving and whatever predecessor of humans was eating them.
Oh, that's right. Because they weren't used to eating sugar.
Yeah.
So why would they?
Early primates.
Yeah. Why would they know to brush their teeth?
They wouldn't. There'd be no brush. There was no sink. There was no toothpaste. They had nothing.
It would be great to like go on a museum tour, like a group tour, and when they get to the primate section, does anyone have any questions? Go, yeah, I heard that primates couldn't brush their teeth because no sinks. Not even a question, just.
just let that hang.
Yeah. Telling you, museum trip will be fun.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get on that.
See, we're still learning, but we're also we're also partaking in one of our favorite pastimes, and that is making strangers confused.
We're very good at that. Fucking excel at that.
Molars, fruits, teeth. There we go.
So, I mean, to back up a little bit, because the video then, after those two stories, it took a sciencey turn and it started talking about the autotrophs and the heterotrophs and you know, the way eating evolved in general. Autotrophs being organisms that can make sustain their own life from inorganic substances like the sun. They're autotroph meaning self-nourishing, and heterotrophs are that means other nutrition, and that's animals that eat or things that eat other things. They get their energy and their nutrition from something else. This video says that autotrophs came first and that heterotrophs evolved later because it was more efficient. There is an argument that heterotrophs came first and it was like amino acids that kind of spontaneously occur in nature may have been first, and these collections of amino acids may have formed these early life particles that ate those spontaneously occurring amino acids. So it's kind of
like stuff was
a
like,
vague
oh,
level.
I can make my own stuff, and then at the same time, something else was like, oh, I can't make my own stuff, but I might be able to take that thing's stuff.
Yeah, it kind of started out with consuming those things that spontaneously, like the first life was probably spontaneously eating the building blocks of life in a way. Like it came together and formed this thing that had metabolism and was able to self-replicate, but it needed to consume those other building blocks of life that existed. And then eventually figured out how to harness the sun or harness methane or harness whatever other non-organic substances came. Again, that's an argument. This is kind of two different sides of the same coin. I think it's pretty well established or pretty well understood that there were cells that tried to consume other cells and it failed. And that is eventually what became us in a way. So that's called eukaryotes. And that's one thing tried to eat another thing and it didn't work out. And they developed a symbiotic relationship instead of being digested. And the thing that was eaten became mitochondria.
So much like the formation of centaurs.
That's right. A horse ate a person or a person ate a horse. They didn't digest and they said, hey, let's work together.
Hey.
And the horse said, you had me at hay.
Nice. Which, by the way, like a horse's midsection, is that called a horso?
It is now.
All right. Plural of watermelon is watermelon. Horse torso is horso. Oof, I like that one. That one's got a fun little bounce to it.
Rub his horso.
Bumped into a fence and subsequently got a bruise on his horso. Should be more careful.
But
yeah.
I do want to say so that like we kind of glossed over the fact that a cell swallowed a cell and didn't digest it and then it merged. That actually happened twice at least because that happened once with the mitochondria and then again plant cells did it with chlorophyll. It tried to digest something and didn't and only from that was cells able to now absorb sunlight and turn that into sugar because of this failed heterotrophic consumption, I guess you could call it. But I say at least twice, but I would imagine for this to happen, like cells had to kind of be prone to do this for it to eventually dominate everything.
Yeah, like that's the example that got through.
Yeah.
Like it could have happened at other points and just
Yeah, nature's very big at throw all the shit at the wall that you can, and one or two will stick, and that's all you need.
That's how you get the internet. A cell ate another cell, it didn't work, and the internet was born.
Yeah, eventually. That's pretty super cool.
Did I have any notes? Oh, so when this dude was talking about, so he said the word omnivorous and carnivorous, which I feel like I hear all the time. And then this motherfucker said herbivorous. And I was like, I feel like I don't hear that word. Like, I feel like it doesn't get brought up. Like, everyone talks about carnivorous and omnivorous, I feel like. Or at least people talking that I listen to talk about carnivorous and omnivorous. But no one ever says herbivorous.
I'd just say herbivore. That's a herbivore, but not herbivorous. Yeah.
Like, it sounds like it makes sense, but yeah, it sounds like made up.
Right.
Herbivorous. Who says that?
Yeah, I guess not. When does it come up?
Yeah, I guess
only in these videos.
The animals that eat plants don't talk, and the people that only eat plants say vegetarian or vegan. So start saying herbivorous, motherfuckers. Make it sound classy.
Yeah, right, get behind that.
I bet in England they say herbivorous.
This guy definitely does. They should. And you know what? Because I feel like, yeah, saying vegan or vegetarian or whatever, like, you're acknowledging that your body needs meat, but you're choosing not to. Like, really commit. That's a simile. You got to go metaphor, where you say, I'm an herbivore. Not, I'm like an herbivore. I am an herbivore. Hop all the way in. Commit to it. That's what I want.
I am herbivorous. Ooh, another good band name or dumb word. I get a lot of these tonight, apparently. Herbivorous ambivalence.
Okay.
Not sure what it means. I don't remember what ambivalence means.
That sounds like a good song name.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of good ones out of this one tonight. Whole album.
That'd be heavy and drony. Herbivorous ambivalence. That's like 15 minutes long.
Easily.
Yeah.
The drums are the first 2.5 minutes. Just the opening beat. You don't hear a single vocal until the 10-minute mark.
Yeah. And the vocals, like, sleep style.
Yeah.
That is syllable dragged way out. And then a whole lot of riffs and drums.
Herbivorous ambivalence. I am in, man. I'll tell you what else I'm in. I'm entirely full of urine. I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Okay. I got something. I think it's pretty fucked up that life in general figured out I could either make this energy myself, which takes a lot, and I'm basically green slime on a rock, reaching up at the sun, using everything that I have in my body to convert this sunlight into sugar that I can use to continue growing and reproducing. Or I could just eat the dude that does all that, which is, kind of cold. It's a pretty cold world in general that came up with that.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
There was a ton of dead air in there. So just for the record, we're going to go back and chop a lot of that out. But at the end there, I thought of something and started talking. So,
all right, cool.
Yeah.
I thought
See
it.
how that goes.
Fucking said it.
Yeah. I was just saying how, and I think I said this yesterday, that I worked with somebody that was like collecting gold, and then I worked with somebody else that was saying you're collecting gold for when the economy collapses, but I own guns. So when the economy collapses, your gold is my gold. It's kind of that's what life did when it comes to the autotrophic shit that used all of its energy to convert sunlight into sugars that it can use to grow and have a metabolism and reproduce and all that. And then nature figured out, well, I could either do that or I could just eat the thing that does that and steal all of it, and it'll be much easier and much more efficient.
Definitely sounds easier. You do all the work.
And it's kind of effed up.
And I'll eat all your stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Like a cult leader or a pyramid scheme. you turn all that sun's energy into something and then you kick it up.
Nature has just been one giant pyramid scheme.
It really has been. I mean, they even draw it on the trophic thing. It's the autotrophs, heterotrophs. It is a pyramid. Apex predators at the top. Thanks for doing all that work. I'm gonna eat your fucking rib cage.
I'm gonna take a big chunk right out of your horso. I'm gonna bite your face off and eat your face bones so I can eat your brain out of your skull.
That is the easiest for me to process.
People were just short-faced hyena brain farms. That's all they were. Thanks for growing this brain for me. Arr, 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 arr.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and for a long time, primates were really on the menu for a lot of stuff. And
kazoo fight. It's quite all right.
Thanks.
What was great is you did the De Niro face. Your sneeze face did the De Niro face. Yeah.
The eyes and all here. Oh, primates.
What eats primates?
Yeah. Everything for a time. I mean, there's still one of the effed up things in this video towards the end.
Oh, language.
Where it talks about it talks about tool usage, and it was saying that a group of predators stalks through the jungle and has a sharpened stick and stabbed into the hole in the tree and stabbed the bush babies, and it was chimpanzees. And then they had chimpanzees like going after that one, what was it, a red, hang on, I wrote it down, let me get to it. There's some red marmoset type monkey that chimpanzees love to eat, and they've almost wiped them all out just from what they do. Red colobus, there it is. The red colobus monkeys. So they chase them up a tree and just wait for the weak ones or the slow ones and grab them and just eat them there on the spot. Just rip them to shreds with their teeth and
Jesus Christ.
Have almost wiped these things out because they love how they taste.
And is it happening just because they love how it tastes, or is it happening because of the advent of them figuring out how to use pointy shit and hunting strategies?
That's a very good question. Maybe a little bit of both. That they basically broke the rules of the game, which is what we did way back when, or our early ancestors did way back when, because we were not apex predators by any means. Like the primates were partially scavengers or eating insects or eating leaves, eating fruits, stuff like that, and were preyed on by birds, reptiles, big cats, you name it. There were plenty of things that ate us. It wasn't until figuring out tools that we were able to kind of separate ourselves from the pack and step ahead of the rest of the animals in general.
It's like when you're having a water gun fight as a kid and everybody's just lighting somebody up and they corner them and then they turn the hose on. It's like, hey, no fair.
Yep. Yeah. Now you all lose. Yeah.
Now I'm winning.
So I thought it was cool that they pointed out that a lot of that early tool usage were kitchen tools rather than hunting tools, which means that we were still scavenging, and that's why it put us in direct competition with those hyenas, is going to these big kills and trying to drag bones away to our dens or whatever. I say our, still talking about hominids, not even Homo sapiens, but way back before we existed.
And they had things
we
like
were doing that.
like can openers and mandolins and bread knives and other kitchen
Isn't a mandolin
tools.
like a guitar?
Well, it is, but it's also the very thinly slice, like you slice your produce and stuff super duper thin.
Oh, okay.
And also your fingertips if you're doing it right.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean,
we couldn't do better. We can come up with two different words. They're both mandolin. That's weak.
they probably both came from I mean, they're definitely European in origin, both of them. I would think. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Figure it out, mandolins. Oh man, if that fucking place, there was a guitar store called Mandolin Brothers on Staten Island, and if they had one side that was the stringed instrument and the other side was the kitchen instrument, and they had like a duct tape down the middle, and they like tried to get your attention as you came in.
The Mandolin Brothers didn't see eye to eye on what a mandolin was. So this store had both, but they agreed that they had got to go into business with each other, but they just hard disagree about what they sold.
They knew they had to be in business, but they could not come to a decision betwixt the two of them.
Listen, I can't get a loan without you, but I'm selling these. Absolutely not. These are mandolins. Yeah.
Oh man. So yes, so primates have kitchen tools.
Yes, and that was to crack bones, because we figured out that brains and marrow were easy access to good nutrients, easy nutrition.
I didn't realize how much brain eating was going on.
Yeah.
A lot of brain eating.
A lot of brains, yeah. Because fats and meats were a new thing for humans. Anyway, obviously there were predators that were into that before we got into it, but the primates were big on fruits and insects in some cases and leaves in other cases, like we said. And it wasn't until I think it was Homo habilis had tools, had very primitive tools, but then after that, Homo erectus figured out how to cook. They figured out, we don't know exactly when or how, but in that space, they figured out how to harness fire. And that was a game changer, because now our bodies didn't have to work as hard to unlock the nutrients from the food. It was already like almost pre-digested in a way from cooking it, and allowed us to unlock the shit that much easier, which then allowed us to use a lot of that energy for our brains, for growing our brains and using our brains more.
And you saying that fact in a previous episode too, I remember, because my whole life it was like, oh, food gets cooked because you got to kill bacteria in it, but that's not what they were using it for. It was just to make it digestible. Yeah. More digestible.
Yeah. I mean, and now it is, because we've evolved ourselves out of being able to process that kind of stuff. But like I was just saying, chimpanzees, which are our closest relatives, pull monkeys out of the tree and eat them raw. It's only because we don't have whatever in our gut that's able to handle that live bacteria that now, if we don't cook it, we get sick.
Like an enzyme or a amino acid or some type of probiotic shit.
Yep. Yeah, we've come to rely on the cooking rather than it just being a bonus.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. And for a long amount of there's a new, relatively new study. I sent you a link. This is from 2021. But there's a belief that we were primarily carnivorous once we figured out how to create hunting tools and take down larger game and then feed the pack with it. And then as we got more efficient with stuff, inventing a bow and arrow or something like that, which we used.
Yeah, because
I think
you catch one animal and you got a bunch of fucking food.
Yeah, especially like I'm picturing the cave paintings where there's a whole bunch of people around like a woolly mammoth or something large like that, where they're taking it down as a pack.
Right.
And it seems like it could be a story, but the more I think about it, I'm like, maybe that was like a PowerPoint, or maybe that was like an X's and O's kind of thing for football. Like, no, you go on this side, you go on this. So three of us will go over here and distract it. And like,
man,
this is how we take this thing down. Passing on knowledge.
And here I was getting ready to say that this entire topic has been exhausted by the Far Side comics. And yet here you come out with a fucking PowerPoint. Look at you.
Gary Larson didn't have the technology we have now.
Be great to just start throwing around as like an insult, like, you're no Gary Larson yourself.
It's only if someone tells a bad, corny joke.
Yeah. Cave paintings. Tools, right? Yeah. Kitchen tools.
So one other thing I wanted to talk about, this was an article I sent you, or a picture from an article I sent you, where it was talking about the diet of Homo whatever, going back to Homo habilis, Homo erectus, up to Homo sapiens, and the brain size as well. So let me just make this larger here. It has a picture here that says 2.6 million years ago, Homo habilis.
Okay, so it's that one.
Which was
yeah.
It was eating marrow and brains. The size of the brain of that animal was around 650 cubic centimeters. Jump ahead to now, we're at 1.9 million years ago. Mm-hmm. This is the Homo erectus stage, where they're actually taking down large prey. So no longer are they using the kitchen tools. They've expanded to hunting tools. And the brain jumped up to about a top size was about 1,100 cubic centimeters. So it got bigger from this meat-based diet.
All right.
Now, again, flash forward a bunch. Now we're up to 0.3 million years ago, where Homo sapiens able to take down, this is the medium prey and the small prey size, where you have the guy throwing a spear and a guy with a bow and arrow and a dog. I don't know if bow and arrows were invented back then, but regardless, this is just a picture. The brain was 1,500 cubic centimeters. And then they show 0.01 million years ago. So that was 0.3 to 0.03. Now we're at 0.01 million years ago, where now we're domesticated farming, domesticated animals, plants, stuff like that. The brain apparently shrunk. It's on average 1,350 cubic centimeters.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which means one of two things, according to two studies I read. This study seems to suggest that it's because we were carnivores, and the more omnivorous, the diet where we're eating more plants may have shrunk our brains on average.
Sounds like you've been eating too many plants.
Doing something with them.
Hey. So they think, now is it just like a simple like stuff that eats more protein is going to have more mass kind of a thing?
Yeah, it could be. Or like it was easier, the way we were doing things, it was easier for those calories to be unlocked and utilized and go to our brains rather than be used to actually digest and unlock the calories. Because I think that's the hardest thing about the raw stuff, or why cooking is better than raw, is our bodies have to work harder with the raw stuff to get the calories out of it. So yeah, when it comes to farming or eating lettuce, I guess it's we have to work harder to get stuff out of the leafy vegetables than we do out of cooked deer.
All right.
That's behind door number one. Door number two talks about collective intelligence or collective knowledge. The fact that we are starting to specialize and we're starting to group together and share knowledge, maybe even write stuff down or illustrate stuff, or basically outsourcing from our individual brains into a collective. So it's less of a need for a larger brain.
Okay. You don't have to
Who's
have to
right?
remember all the things.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't have to be a jack of all trades. You could just be, no, I'm the guy that knows I know which mushrooms kill you and which don't. Something like that.
All right. Yeah, I just started immediately thinking on like how quickly does the human brain shrink from having stuff that remembers everything for you, but might not get a large enough sample size of that. Like, and even realistically, like another 1,000 years, would it?
Yeah, it would take quite a few generations probably before it was noticeable. But I mean, having the internet that remembers everything for everyone, who knows? Maybe it'll rapidly increase that.
And by the time it would, before it can even shrink down, it's probably all made a robot first.
It's either robot or that movie where Terry Crews was president.
I can't remember the Idiocracy. There you go.
Yeah. He came out with two machine guns or whatever.
Do you have any water? What, like from the toilet?
But yeah, that was the first revolution for human beings, or the Homo whatever species, was the hunting revolution. That we figured out how to use tools and hunt. And there are noticeable changes to our body, aside from the brain, since this happened compared to Australopithecus, Homo sapien, all that stuff as we've gone on. Our jaws are getting smaller and weaker because we don't need to chew the tough stuff. We cook, we have forks, we have knives, all that. And our shoulders, we have the rotator cuff, or the joint in the shoulder has evolved to be better for throwing than climbing versus other primates or other great apes. They're still better suited for climbing, but our shoulders are better for hunting. Our bodies responded to that over time.
That's so weird.
Yeah, right?
Also, like, it's so weird that Australopithecus, like, they had to have that gigantic bottom jaw to help it chew.
Yeah.
They don't even look real. Like, it looks like somebody drew a cartoon of a monkey skull.
And they probably were pretty hairy. I doubt they were as hairless as we are, but they were. Yeah, those are our ancestors with that big thing, just so that they could rip things apart. They didn't have knives or fire.
I have a big enough larger bottom part of my skull. Thank you very much. I think I'll be able to rip things. Rip things from
like
things.
The waiter comes over. Yeah. Do you need utensils? Yeah. Oh no, I have this. I have my lower face.
You see how it's the size of my bicep? Yes, I have a very large lower face. Thank you.
I mean, but we can thank all of that tool usage for. I mean, we did an episode on it, the horrors that used to be around, and
oh right, yeah,
they would have. Yeah, if we went toe to toe against them, they would have wiped us out. But we got good at using tools, and then we got better at hunting their food than they were. So we didn't go head to head with short-faced bears. We just ate all the shit they ate before they could eat it, and that's what killed them. Touche.
It's like, so my dad is one of 11 kids, and he's number 9. So they would get they'd get soda delivered in glass bottles, and he would get pineapple soda because nobody else liked it, and then he would drink their soda, and then no one would want to drink his soda.
Well played.
Right? Yeah. Scoundrel. It's kill or be killed. That's too many. It's too many kids.
Yeah. Fuck.
Like that was one of the crazy fucking things about just between the evolution of the understanding of people's health is that up until about 100 years ago, it was still, you're having kids? Cool. Have as many fucking kids as you can because you're only going to get about half of them at best.
Right. Not only are some of them going to die, but you're going to need a ton of help with whatever you're doing to stay alive. Yeah.
And then I think like so that mindset was still going on while this was all happening. So the overlap was where you see all these families of like 8, 10, 12 children. It's like every single person you invited to your wedding says yes. It was like, fuck, you weren't all supposed to say yes. I didn't factor this into the budget.
It's gonna.
There's not going to be enough food.
We're not doing any choices. Everyone gets the sea bass.
Even if we have to get people to not show up by telling them we're going to feed them something that they're allergic to, whatever we got to do to cut the numbers. We're only serving sea bass. I'm allergic to fish. Oh, well, I guess you better find something else to do that night then, huh?
Guess who's not eating? Well, I can tell you, I got 3, and they are no help. So, yeah, any more than that, just stacking the deck against ourselves.
I remember hearing I have no idea where it got into my head, but after 4 children, there's no difference in the stress level for like a parent.
No, that makes sense.
Because after 4, it's just like, all right, this is already too much for me to handle. I don't have enough.
I think
bandwidth.
you let your older kids run it. Like you take it, yeah, because you're fried. You like you were just saying, you reach your limit. So it's kind of like, you know what I would do. You do it. I do it. I mean, I have a 12-year-old. There's already things I outsource to him. It's like, just go see what he wants.
You should really lean into his half Sicilian heritage, and just anytime you need him to do something, just give just gesture in that direction. I think that'd be a pretty cool trick. Yeah. Right? That's why you have kids, to teach them tricks.
Right. Oh! Which is my favorite line from The Sopranos. No matter who said it or under what circumstances. It would always be good if it was like 5 of them at the same time to turn them. Oh!
Oh! I like that one. That one's always good.
Yeah.
My favorite line in The Sopranos, because it happened every episode.
They'd stop whatever they were doing to say, oh, in the direction.
One of my favorite things that I was reminded of growing up on Staten Island was one episode. Tony was out partying all night. Carmela looks at him and goes, "What's the matter? You look all mushad this morning." I was like, "Mushad! I forgot mushad." Look at this guy. He's fucking all mushad. Look at you.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, it just means you look like shit, I guess, for lack of a better word.
All right. I'm leaning into it going forward.
Fucking, a word-heavy episode. Finally an episode with a lot of words in it.
That's podcast. We just talk at each other.
But are we saying enough words?
Right. Unique words. You want unique, uncommon, individual. I get it. It's the right words. It's the quality of words, not the quantity of words. That's what you mean.
Make it brief, son. Half short, twice strong.
Should we release the other 40 minutes that kind of got fucked up as an addendum to this?
Possibly. Oh, you know what we'll do? It'll be like Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, how there was Don't Cry, but it had different words. It's like, well, I'm not going to really listen to that one that much, but I'll listen to it and be like, oh, no, that's weird. All right, put the other one I like back on. What were we in the middle of?
No, it was kind of. We were just kind of talking about how we went from primates that had to worry about owls to oh, look at this fucking guy.
Oh, my other favorite, which I used way too many times after hearing it. Ralphie walks into a party, or walks into the bang rather. Goes, "Oh, what is this? A fucking handsome contest?" It's like that's the best fucking line to come into a room.
You know, all the dudes like. You act like you're not glowing on the inside, but someone says that to you, you're glowing a little bit. You're like, hey, I did look good today.
Thank you. I wasn't sure about this shirt, but I really appreciate that compliment. Thank you. I feel a lot better about myself. Thanks, Ralphie.
Oh, before we wrap, just add this to the list of how the hell are people still here? The Tong child. I don't know if you remember this from the video. It's a skull that they found of an Australopithecus. And
this thing.
Yeah, across the top of the skull, it has a bunch of gouges that are consistent with what they see in some primates from some specific eagle. I forget what it was. But so it looks like that basically there was still a point, even when we were big, the Australopithecus got, a couple of feet tall. It's not a little monkey anymore.
Aww.
But there was still eagles or raptors or some type of bird that could still pick up our children. And, these, you'd have to worry about your kids going outside and a bird coming down and scooping it up. That's just insane to me. Like, thank God we don't have to worry about that anymore, at least as far as I know. I don't know if there's anywhere that these giant birds live, but...
Yeah, they're, like, watching birds hunt is absolutely crazy. Like, there's that, have you seen that video of it's somebody's camera on the side of their house, and it's two like doves, and it's like it's at night, so it's like night vision, so the color is all skewed a little bit, and you just see two doves right near the front of the camera, and then you just see two lights getting closer and closer and closer, and then you realize like at the last second that it's an owl, and it just snatches one of them. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so fast.
You don't even hear it.
Yeah. And their talons, like owls have crazy fucking talons.
You're pretty well. Whatever they're going after is dead pretty quickly. Yeah.
By the way, just to soften their image a little bit. Have you ever seen an owl's legs? Like when it's like feathers are all the way up. It's the most ridiculous looking fucking thing in the world. Like, it looks like they have pants on.
Yeah. They're pretty stupid looking at, like they're doing the thing with their neck, doing all this shit. They're stupid looking birds in general.
What are those eagles in? It's like the golden eagle, I think. It's in like Mongolia or something like that. They can still pick up like 40-pound things or something crazy like that. I could be way off on the number, but they do pick up very heavy things.
I remember being worried when my dog was small, being worried letting him outside if there were big birds in the area. Now they're not fucking with it, but yeah, because if they can pick it up, they will.
Yeah. And if they're not sure, they're gonna try.
Yeah, if it's a borderline, they'll figure out the hard way. Not birds. I just want to double down. Fuck birds.
That's right. That's right. We have a hard fuck birds take on this podcast. Oh, one other thing that we didn't get to the PETM thing, the thermal maximum thing when the plants.
Yes, that was the Paleocene Eocene thermal maximum.
Yeah,
that's where we had rainforests that stretched all the way up to the Arctic and the Antarctic. So that was a period where the climate was much warmer. The oceans were warmer than usual. And it's also a time that's kind of when plants evolved flowers and fruits. So very important time for primates and for life in general. But that was a period of it was rough going if you lived in underwater. That's for sure. Because it got
that's all before the
very hot.
What if you like hot water?
I think it was kind of anoxic too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. He said that video during the word during the video, and I was like, last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
one of those.
Yeah. So this was a period where the carbon in the atmosphere went up, whether it was due to volcanic activity, forest fire, whatever the case may be. It seemed to be organic in nature based on, I think they said it was carbon 12 versus carbon 13 or carbon 14, because organic things like to work with the smaller isotope. But that's how they figure out what was going on and why there was extra carbon and what they think it was related to. But this carbon spike increased the temperature on the Earth. Things evolved together. Fruits, primates, all this stuff excelled, expanded very far, became spread out globally. And then as quickly as it came, the Paleocene, Eocene thermal maximum left. So the temperatures rapidly dropped. And that's why all of this widespread stuff specialized into being able to do different things and looking different. And some ate leaves, some ate bugs, some ate fruits, some ate meat eventually.
It's pretty much whatever was left ate whatever else that was left.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, that's how everything is just opportunistic. I mean, going back to the first cells that were like, I could either make this energy or eat you after you make the energy. It just goes up and up and up.
And then the the ability of like the rise of fruits and flowering plants and stuff like that led to animals eating it and then pooping out the seeds, and then the seeds would grow from the poop and it would grow new plants, and other primates would eat that, and like that, like just kind of perpetuating each other.
And that's evolution at work. That's if you had a fruit that didn't do that, then it didn't get passed on, it got eaten. So the fruits that did do that were the ones that passed the seeds on and were able to keep going and propagating, and that's why all fruits do that now.
Imagine just primates talking about just they don't make fruit like they used to anymore. Now we get all this seed poop, but we used to have some pretty good fruits back when it was warmer.
Where are those seedless berries? Do you have any more of them seedless berries? Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. We're so good in our seat in the food chain, and our ability to manipulate the environment is that we're making stuff that can't breed without us for convenience.
We went from sucking the marrow out of bones to making boneless chicken wings. Like, no, we're so far. Well, some countries are so far out of the food chain, it's ridiculous. There. There's still people that have to wear masks on the back of their heads, so tigers think they're looking at them.
That's right. That ridiculous fact.
Yeah.
See, if only that young boy would have had a tiger mask on the back of his head. Actually, no, he reached out, and this thing clearly didn't give a shit. This thing wasn't trying to sneak up on anything. When you're locked in a box for a month as a tiger, you don't sneak for a bit.
Yeah. No, imagine you've been in a box, you really haven't eaten, and then the first thing you do when you break out, you start running away from your captors, and as you're running, a chicken nugget reaches out to you. Like perfect. Take that as you go. Yeah, keep moving.
Good drive-through. I was hoping I could keep this thing moving along.
Yeah. Excellent. The tiger's food was like, hey, what about me?
Who am I supposed to hang out with? Cried the food, quite upset. Let's see, do I have any other notes? Nope. I think that's all my notes.
One last thing. Did you know that hippos are herbivores, except when they want to eat a fucking animal? Turns out hippos just eat whatever they want to eat. They're mostly herbivores because it's easiest to just graze in the water, but if something gets close to them, they'll eat a person.
And they shouldn't be able to swim.
I don't know that I think they just run along the bottom of the water.
I feel like they can kind of run. That's what their movements is, but I think they can swim. Yeah, because
I guess they kind of
there's the videos of hippos chasing boats, chasing speedboats.
Go away, hippo! I'm leaving it.
That was a rabbit hole one evening. Close calls with hippos. Those are scary.
I would imagine. Yeah, hippos are fucking terrifying.
They look like such dopes. The little.
Yeah, until they open their mouth.
Yeah, like do the little.
It's like they're mostly mouth. That's why. Yeah, the
stupid ear flopping around.
Yeah, they look like they should be rideable. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to ride a hippo until you then see them with an open mouth.
There's no reason
that's why
that there shouldn't be a T-shaped handlebar coming out of the base of their neck for you to hold on to when you ride the hippo.
They should have evolved a saddle and a pommel. And it's quite frankly, it's bullshit that they didn't.
And those 4 giant round teeth that they have, like those, they look like they're bigger in diameter than a femur.
They may well be.
Imagine getting bit with a femur.
No, it'd just break your femur.
Fight femurs with femurs. They
could probably do marrow if they want to. Yeah.
Remember that Metallica song?
Fight femur with femur? Yeah, I do.
Not to be confused with their other song, Fight FEMA with FEMA. I don't know what that would be about. Yeah, unless you got anything else. Under the Guise of Science, guys always spelled GUISE at gmail.com on Facebook and on Instagram.
On what are we on? We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube, both under the Guise of Science, and on X at Science Guys. GUISE.
Cool beans. Check us out. Hit us up. Tell us things. Like, subscribe. Hell, even Patreon if you're feeling froggy. We won't mind. Any of it.
No. Never.
Any of it.
Even tell us what you don't like. Give us constructive criticism. I don't care. Just let us know you're listening.
Just let us know we're alive. Please.
Yeah. Send me an email that says, I listened to the last episode, period. Leave it at that. I'm even good with that. I don't even need your opinion.
Just state that it happened.
Right.
Acknowledge its existence, please.
And in the meantime, listen to Fart Bar.
And see you next time, fuckers.